I'm upgrading to the Killer Bee racing oil pan. It has some improved baffling in here. They claim it's good to up to 1.6 G sustained, so it'll be good for racing. They give you 2 different ports on the front, one for a drain plug and one for a temperature probe. I am not going to do a temperature probe, so I got a plug, also from Killer Bee. And then I have the Killer Bee oil baffle, which will help strip oil from all the moving parts in the engine and get a nice pool of oil at the bottom of the pan. Keep that pickup submerged so we're not starving the engine from oil. And then obviously, because we're draining all the oil, we have to put some fresh oil back in. So I have oil, a fresh filter, and Killer Bee also supplies all the hardware needed to install this. So let's jump into it. The first thing I need to do is drain the oil from the car and remove the old oil filter. Now I can remove all the little bolts holding the pan up and drop it. I spent a good 20 minutes trying to pry this oil pan off, and I ended up having to hammer in a screwdriver gently to break the seal between the pan and the block. Here's the Killer Bee compared to an EJ25 oil pan. You can see the Killer Bee is slightly taller, so in the car it'll hang down a little bit more. Inside, very similar structure, but the Killer Bee will hold 1 quart more. So it's just slightly bigger all around. I already had the Killer Bee oil pickup. The Subaru ones are known to crack, so I installed this about 3 years ago when I was building the car. This piece right here, that's the oil pickup, basically a straw that sucks the oil up into the engine. And the first thing they say to do is to take the dipstick, which is this right here, and put these 2 small O-rings on it instead, so that this fits the new Killer Bee oil pan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. There you are, the 2 new O-rings installed on the dipstick tube. Because the bottom of the new pan hangs a little bit lower, I need to remove the oil pickup and install a couple supplied spacers so that the oil pickup also hangs lower. And here's the OEM oil baffle that we're replacing with the Killer Bee oil baffle. Here's the oil pickup and the OEM windage tray removed. I just scraped the edges of the flanges to get all the old silicone off. And now it's time to start putting on the new parts. Here's the OEM windage tray versus the Killer Bee windage tray. Much lower profile. It should be stripping the oil off the moving parts much better. Here's the main spacer for the oil pickup, and it has another O-ring on top to keep a tight seal. And the other 2 brackets just get a small block of aluminum as the spacer. Oh, man. Amazing timing. With everything installed and torqued, it's time to put the pan on. Here I'm applying some Permatex gasket maker and 1 long bead, making sure to go around all the holes. I don't want any breaks in the sealant to let oil leak out. With the pan in place, I can now put 2 screws in just to hold the pan for me. And I hand tightened all the little bolts. My sealant says to give it an hour before I torque them down. Then I have to wait 24 hours until I can actually fill the car with oil. This pan bolted right up. They have cutouts on the top to help you get the screws in. The craftsmanship of the pan itself is really nice. They have the 2 ports on the bottom. Everything just went really nice and easy. I would recommend this. Now apparently you can prime the oil system by pushing the clutch and the gas pedal all the way in and then turning the key, so let's give it a shot. And there we go. The oil light just went out, so we have pressure. We can go ahead and start the car. There are no leaks, so our job here is done. Be sure to check out my other videos, and thanks for watching.